So think a minute about that moment that you walk into a restaurant that you've not been to before, or you've not been there for quite a while. You're taken to a table and there are two menus that are placed on the table in front of you. The server introduces himself, turns to you and says, "Hey, take a look at the menu. I'll grab you a couple waters and I'll swing back in a few minutes and I'll see if you have any questions." You look over the menu and decide what you want to have right about the moment that the server comes back and he turns to you and says, "Hey, what can I get for you?" And you begin to explain what you would like to eat, but there's something that comes with the meal that you don't really like. Like, you still want this particular item, you're interested in trying this, but you don't love all the stuff that comes with it. You don't like the tomatoes or the onions that it comes with, so you turn to him and say, "Hey, I'd love to order this, except." You say, "Hey, can you bring this menu item without some of what typically comes with it?" And he turns to you, smiles, and says, "Sure, no problem." There's a moment like that in the book of 1 Kings. What has happened is that the control of the nation of Israel has passed from King Saul to King David, and now to David's son Solomon. And in the 3rd chapter in the book of 1 Kings, there's this really powerful sentence. It's in verse 3, and it just says, "Solomon showed his love for the Lord by walking according to the statutes of his father David, except that he offered sacrifices and burned incense on the high places." And in the same way that you can say to a server at the new restaurant that you want the sandwich without the lettuce or tomatoes or onions, it's also possible for us as followers of Jesus to look at the way of Jesus and say that we're good with it, except for that. Join us this weekend as we examine this moment in the scriptures and ask ourselves what role this word "except" has had in our living out the way of Jesus.